Welcome everyone. It's that time of year. It is time for our Deck the Chair challenge. It all started with a conversation in Sonnets Garden Bloom's membership group. I'm going to be honest, I was not there. I might have been, I don't know, thrifting in Tennessee on the 127, but it was a fabulous idea. They used a chair. It all stemmed from a vignette of a chair from the Country Sampler magazine from several years ago. And it grew into this whole challenge where we all decked a chair for the holiday using the chair for our inspiration.
I just want to interrupt the video real quick to show you. Here's a picture of the chair that is the original inspiration behind the Deck the Chair challenge, the Country Sampler Farmhouse chair. And here's a clip of the original chair gifted to me by a longtime friend, Chris, from Christine Diane Photography. Thank you, Chris, for the chair. Now, don't mind the mess, but I painted the chair in navy blues by Sweet Pickins Milk Paint, and I used 2 coats. Once the chair was dry, I used Sweet Pickins white oil. I covered the chair, I let it sit for 20 minutes, and then I wiped it down. After all the excess oil was removed, I allowed the chair to dry overnight.
I'm Sylvia with Backyard Brushes in Fountain City, Wisconsin. Welcome to my backyard, which is actually in Minnesota. I live on the border. And let's get started decking the chair. First, we're gonna start off with, I'm gonna use a doily for a little bit of texture in the front. I like to try to use different mediums, and I'm sorry if I'm sticking my butt in the camera. I can't see when I'm decorating my chair, so I apologize in advance. I also apologize, I do have a waterfall behind me, and I don't know if the noise is bothersome or not. I apologize if it is. But I do like to use different textures and different mediums to spruce up my chair. So I started with the doily on the seat, and then I picked up these wonderful towels at a garage sale, and they still had their stickers on them. And I actually sold quite a few of them on Whatnot. They went really quick, but I did save one for myself because I knew I had this challenge. And then I've decided to use some of the tins from my own personal collection. I do love tins, old tins. I actually started that with my mother when I got my mother's tins, and I've just started kind of adding to that collection. So I am gonna do red, white, and blue in some tins. And I know, have you ever seen, whoops, have you ever seen a baking powder tin this big? I've always seen the smaller ones, but when I saw this, of course I had to grab it. And I thought about it as a gift for Connie. Oops, I actually have the lid upside down. For the painted photographer, because I know she collects tins too, and it's rusty crusty, but I'm having a hard time letting it go. So it started out as a gift. I'm still holding on to it. We'll see if it makes its way to Connie. Connie, I'll have to let me know if she likes it. So I'm gonna use that, or that tin. I'm sorry, I've got cobblestone underneath me and steps. I'm gonna use that tin as the base with the red and the white. And then I've got, while we were thrifting in Appleton last month, I picked up this nice little, isn't it fun? Look at that, with the blues. I picked this up at a garage sale in Appleton, Wisconsin, and I just thought it was perfect for that red, white, and blue. And my parents always had coffee brewing when I got up in the morning, and I believe it was either Folgers or Maxwell House, but the smell, it's still like very soothing for me as an adult. I don't drink coffee. I wish I liked it. I don't. Doesn't matter how much creamer I put in it, people. It's just bitter, but I love the smell. So the coffee can does, I'll be keeping that for myself just because it reminds me of my childhood so much. And then on our way back from Appleton, Sandra from Midwest Charm and well, Sandra spotted it first, but I got to bring it home with me. It's a little baby marshmallow tin, and I'm like, it's perfect because it's red, white, and blue. So I'm just gonna put that right on top of my Maxwell house. Oops, I might need to switch that up a little bit. I don't know, I'll decide later. So with the tin, I'm just gonna add a little bit of greenery to my stack. Yeah, I might have to switch that up. That greenery ain't gonna work. And then I have, whoops, I'm dropping everything, you guys. I have these flags that I made. So we just want a little bit of greenery. We don't need that. I'm gonna add a flag. I just stained a spindle, cut out a rectangle, cut out another rectangle of some stars material, sewed it on. I sewed a loop on the back and I slid the spindle in for some homemade flags. I'm only down to 2 of them. The rest of them have already sold. So I'm just gonna lay my flag in my tin. Then I am going to, oh, yep. I have a pillow I made with the same concept. I cut out a rectangle. I sewed the okay guys, I can't even talk. I cut out a rectangle and the ticking. I washed it and I soaked it in tea to get it a little dinged up and not so new looking. I cut out a rectangle with the stars and sewed that on. Sewed my whole pillow together, stuffed it, sewed the area where I was putting the stuffing in. If you don't sew, I mean, it's really easy to make, but if you don't sew, you can always use hot glue. And then I left the edging so that it would fray. But I like the different materials. I've got wood, I've got the tin, and now I'm gonna come in with my pillow. And I think I'm gonna bring my tins up just to get a lot going on in the back and not so much in the front. So we'll do that. Oh, flag might not, I don't know if it's blocking. Sometimes you should just leave things the way they are and quit playing, Sylvia. And then I found this beautiful step ladder at a garage sale. Actually, the same garage sale I got the dish towels. And the lady's like, would you like some free spray paint to paint that chair? And I'm like, no, I'm buying, not the chair, the step stool. I'm like, no, I'm buying the step stool because I like the red, I like the chippiness. So I brought it home, I sealed it with Rust-Oleum spray matte just to seal it and protect it from chipping further. But no, I don't want to spray paint it. I like the metal, I like the chippiness. I'm leaving it the way it is, but I thought it would be fun to use for this challenge. So I am going to bring in, let's see, I think it might need, I'm going to give it a doily too. I have a thrift store in Wabasha, Minnesota, where the doilies are so inexpensive when they have them. So I do try to grab as many of them as I can when they have them, because I just love the extra texture doilies bring into some vignettes. And whether I'm staging for a video, for my shop, my own home, I just like those doilies and the texture. And it reminds me of my grandma. Next, I am going to, let's see, bring in, oh, I have a Cracker Jack pin I thought would be fun on top of the chair. No, we're gonna go on top of the Cracker Jack. I haven't practiced this and I'm stumbling over my cobblestones. So I'm going to use the Cracker Jack tin because it's also red, white, and blue. And we're going to bring in, let's see, I have a Coke bottle. Oops, I am stumbling on these steps, you guys. I have a Coke bottle, and I just feel Coke is so nostalgic with the red, white, and blue. And then I found this one. And you probably can't see it, but it says Celebrate the Century, 1889 to 1989 in South Dakota. It's got Mount Rushmore on the bottom. I grabbed a couple of these when they had them because I thought it's pretty fun. And we are going to be celebrating our 250. So I also have some calla lilies that I can bring into the bottle. I gotta be careful. I can bring that bottle in too. And I just kind of like step back. And what do we need? Maybe a flower frog. I have 2 flower frogs that I repurposed. A bingo card that I put a transfer on and waxed her up to make her look older. And I do actually have a video on my past where I'm doing this, not with this bingo card, but the same concept. Maybe we could, a little flower frog right there. What do you think? Does that work? Or is that too much on top and not enough on the bottom? Does it need to go with the Coke? You'll have to let me know. Do you like it better with the Coke? Ugh. Do you like it better with the Coke, or do you like it better up on top? Is that too much? I don't know. I'm not good with vignettes. And I actually have, oh look, I have a little flag we can put in the Coke bottle too. And I do have another calla lily. Should I add that? Kind of bring it in with it. Is that too much? I never know if it's too much or not. But the calla lily helps bring it back in with the red, white, and blue calla lilies in the other bottle. And then I do have, as I'm dropping them everywhere, when I was thrifting in Illinois with Kathy from Waste Not Upcycled, picked up a bag of these blue spools. And then I have a spool that's painted in Red Wagon by Sweet Pickins, left over from Christmas. I can add those actually. There, that might help. Decorate the tin a little bit. You actually put another doily on it too. If I needed to. How am I doing, you guys? Because like I said, vignettes are not my strong point. I need these challenges. Oh! And, you know, Pepsi is also part of, you know, like America's history. Just like Coke. Well, not as much as Coke, but. So I have a Pepsi tin we're going to add. I think I'm going to get it right here. How's that go? What do you guys think? Or maybe I should put the flower frog. Maybe I'll do that. Add the flower frog to the tin. What do you guys think? Am I doing okay? I feel like I need to move the stool over. Okay, let's see if I can do this without crashing, you guys. I just want to move this over a little bit. And then, to help top it off, we're gonna put a baseball hat. I made the hat as inspiration from Kathy at Waste Not Upcycled. I stamped on a, oh no, the tarp canvas, and then ripped the edges, frayed them, sewed around the edges, glued them on, and I glued some lace on my hat too. So we're gonna add the hat. So what do you guys think? I'm thinking I might add a doily to the 10. So I'm Sylvia with Backyard Brushes. Please let me know below what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you would have done different. And if you're interested in the flower frogs, I'll try to link that in the description so you can repurpose your own. Thank you. Oh, and make sure to watch all of the other creators. The playlist is linked in the description below, and see what they did with their chairs. And if you found this video inspirational, please hit subscribe below and follow me along on my creative journey. Thank you.